So if you interact with data products on any level, you're going to be reading in CSVs reasonably frequently. We don't like to do it, but we're going to have to do it because CSV is an incredibly common format. But it's also just like a whole bunch of text. And a Pandas data frame is a reasonably well-organized set of one-dimensional NumPy arrays that have like 400 convenience functions or so-ish wrapped around them to make data handling easier. So how do we get from this absolute chaos of what is effectively a text file into this thing? So the first chaotic thing that we do when we read in a CSV is we do a thing called tokenizing the rows, which is basically reading them into a buffer and figuring out what the rows are in the CSV as delineated by /n and what the fields are. Now, when this is happening, C has now fully taken over. We are at a point now in Pandas where we are not using Python anymore, we're using C. And so we let go of the GIL, which is the global interpreter lock, which is the thing that in normal everyday Python makes one thing happen after another. If you're used to looking at synchronous Python, firstly, go and look at asynchronous Python. It's lovely. It's nearly as good as Go, but it's not quite as good as Go. Let's talk about this another time. However, when we let go of the global interpreter lock, Python can wander off and do other things, like read in other CSVs, which is why you can very happily multi-thread pd.readCSV. This tokenization happens once and only once, which is extremely powerful, makes it very, very fast. We then chunk everything up by default into chunks of 262,144 rows, or about a megabyte. And we read in each column. What we actually do is we loop over the columns and we try and assign them data types. There are 3 flags that C has at this point. Is it an integer, is it a float, or is it bytes? And by bytes, I just mean something else. So we look down the columns, having looped over them, and we go, right, is this column an integer? If it's not an integer, we assign that flag to be false, and we say, is it a float? If it's not a float, we just say, hell, it's bytes. Python, figure it out later. Now we have those columns, we can shove them into arrays. We can throw them into memory, and at that point, grab Python's attention again and go, oi, you, come back. The C engine has finished doing its thing. NumPy, here is where all the data is at. Put that into a nice array, and here's the D type, which in an extremely hand-wavy way that fits inside of 3 minutes, is how we get from that stupid text file that we all love and also hate to well-organized Pandas data frames.